Hello everyone, Sheek here with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Legacy Armada Universe Optimus Prime. He is Commander Class, and boy howdy is he amazing. Anyway, this is his truck mode, this is his trailer obviously, and this is not exactly how he comes packaged. He comes packaged with this assembly removed, and these sections in here, just to make it narrower so it's not so wide, not such a wide load. And let's just say they did not need such a big box. They could have just had a box that's about yay big and yay tall, not the big old box that they had. And they say they're trying to save paper. I mean, granted, they're not using as much plastic and all that, but whatever. I guess for comparison, we'll go ahead and bring in his Nemesis. Not Nemesis Prime, but Megatron. And see how they look together. They look pretty cool. Optimus isn't too terribly big in his vehicle mode in comparison to Megatron. And just going to set Megs off to the side. The only downside to his vehicle mode is that he does have visible hand syndrome for the combiner hands. But I mean, one could say that it's same for visible hands, I guess for both robot hands, but I don't hold too much against it because it is Armada style, and it even has these flaps right here, which I don't know if it's you know, reminiscent of the original toy, which is pretty cool. The trailer doesn't really peg in it doesn't like peg in where it just sits in there, which is probably just as well because so it can freely turn as he rolls around, and he does roll pretty well. And one thing I just now noticed, I know I should have noticed this much sooner, but look, these are pinned on tires. These are not the snap-ons. These are the good ones. And then on the trailer, of course the treads don't move, and they are pinned on to make it look like these spin, which they don't. It's just two wheels. Now these are snap-on tires, but whatever, that doesn't bother me as much. And these little gun things you can flip down to make his trailer stand in when it's not attached to his the main truck. Anywho, I guess that's about it for the truck mode. So let's go ahead and get him into his initial robot mode.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pop this loose. Rotate the tires around. Rotate, tap into place, and then kind of just undo these little flaps. And then lift up these right here. Flip out the toes. And if you'll notice, a lot of these parts have pins as well. There are some areas that don't have pins, but whatever. It's probably just hey, if they pop off, they're not breaking off. Alright, then pull these up. These are not pinned on, which is a little annoying because I actually popped one off, and it was so hard to pop it back on. But I mean, I guess it means that it's less likely to pop off. Now, the one that did pop off, that one might be more likely to pop off because it's popped off once. Okay, and then rotate this up, and that is actually some really nice detail. That makes it think of Unicron's mouth a little bit, but whatever, that's still pretty cool. All that detail. I don't know if it's the same as on the original Armada Optimus Prime, but that is an interesting thought to consider. And just rock that down, and then just pull his arms around, clip his chest into place, rotate his hands, then split apart his legs, and there we got him in his robot mode.
And he is really cool. I mean, he does look a little long in the torso, just a little bit, but that's because, you know, he has to accommodate turning into a larger robot, which is awesome. Absolutely love it. I'd say this is better than their leader class Cybertron Optimus Prime that they did for Siege. Although I've seen it, but I don't think it's that good because it's just redone Ultramax. This is its own thing. And if they keep doing Armada justice, I cannot wait to see their tidal wave. I'm sure they're going to do one at some point. Okay, so enough with the oh wait, one last thing before we go on to articulation and all that. He does have the Matrix of Leadership, which is it removable? No, I don't believe this one's removable, or if it is, it's very Oh no, it is removable. Just have to be careful with it, I guess, so it doesn't get damaged. But it's a clear plastic painted with gold. And that just sits in here, like so. And just close that up. And I definitely need to find some pictures from the anime so we can see how accurate he is to the show. And yeah.
Articulation. The head is on a ball joint. You can look up and down a bit. Does have quite a bit of wibbly wobbly. He can do a full 360. Arms can go out that far, a little bit further if you allow this part to move, which you don't really want to let it move too much. Rotate fold there. Bicep rotation, double jointed at the elbow, so you get quite a bit of bend there. Wrist rotation. No waist rotation. They don't have a complex setup like Naval Commander, which I would do a comparison with in this video, but he's kind of fallen to pieces on me, so to speak. I mean, I could probably get him transformed, but let's just say I have too many plans going on right now, so I do not have time to do production like that. But I would like to do a comparison with all 4 of these guys present at one time. Okay, so yeah, they did the arms. Okay, legs can go out about this far. Don't want to, I guess, push too far out on the flap, so can't go out. He can't do the full. He can't kind of do. Oh, nice ratchets. Legs can go forward that far. If you put the back flap back, you can go about back that far. About 90 degree bend there, and you can also do 90 degree bend that way. But that's because they have to accommodate as arms. And then he does have quite a bit of ankle tiltage, and that's about it for our articulation.
So I guess we can go ahead and get him into his combined mode, and then after that we'll take a look at the trailer, and then and do its weird base mode that doesn't do the original base mode justice, but I know they're having to work with what they got, and I don't know, maybe they just weren't able to work it in. That'd be a really good one. And he has a big old gun, which is a little too big in my opinion for the base robot, and maybe slightly smallish for the big one, but it's a happy medium between being too big for the small guy and too small for the big guy. Yeah. Okay.
To get him into his combined mode, pretty much just want to get this undone. Lock this up. And then, there we are, and then, oh yeah, this doesn't, yeah, this stays back here like this. And then, this all just kind of goes in. These also go in. They go back to their vehicle mode configuration. Then, like that. This needs to get pushed down. And then, these get closed back up again, because these are going to be the shoulders. Or shoulder pad thingies, thingamabobs. And then, I do believe the arms go like this. And then, just make him do the super splits. Oh, okay, first, okay, yeah. This is not as straightforward, it's just that you split it open like this, then you rotate it down like this, then you pull his head up, which then it kind of has 2 little tabs. They're very tiny, but they go in here like more bumps that go into there to hold this into place. And then, go ahead and get this back into place, and then this kind of, this tab goes into the lap slot right there. Same on the other side. And then the hands, you can position the hands however you see fit. And then get this rotated around. You're going to want to put his feet in, and rotate around, then close that up. And do the same here. Rotate it around. Close up the foot. Rotate. Close up. And almost there. This, like I said, stays back. That helps anchor into the into there. And just flare out the pipes. And there we are. And my, does that head look impressive?
And there we go. Have the upper body. I think he's just a little bit smaller than Naval Commander, at least the top part. Because I remember Naval Commander's trousers portion seemed a little too big for the upper portion. So I think that's something that was a little different. Oh, well, I can bring him in for the second one. I forgot to bring in Hot Shot for the normal robot mode. Yeah, I'm not going to do a comparison with all of them, but at some point I will probably do a little photo shoot with all the Armada characters together. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get on to the trailer base mode. I will say this about the base mode, even though it looks like utter garbage, in my opinion, it's somewhat convoluted to get into it, in my personal opinion. Okay, so
let's untap this. Let's hope I can actually get it there, because it was really weird to me. Just do this, and then untap that, untap, untap, Then you pretty much just split it. You can do the splits. And you end up closing it up like this. Not quite yet, so we get this down. And rotate that down. And then rotate this. And rotate this around. And I think this still stays. Anyway, like I said, to me it's really confusing. And then you just wiggle this down. And it does help prep you to get it into the combine mode just a little bit. It'd be nice if those compartments actually did open up, but they don't. And you just make sure that those go flat. And these rotate down like this. And this thing goes into, yeah, so this definitely gets rotated. Then flip this up. I guess this would be like a chair or command chair or something, I don't know. And this kind of just folds up on itself a little bit. And this is supposed to tab in. So this one is a little wonky for whatever reason. I don't really care because I don't really care about this mode very much. Although, I won't be surprised if there's a third party company that does something to improve it. And then you just plop the gun on there. And I guess I can bring in Hot Shot on this. Because he's smaller, so it'll look more convincing like a base. And if Optimus, besides Optimus is already in his combiner mode. But yeah, see, even Hot Shot's a little big to use. It's like, realistically, this base, if I remember, is made more for like mini-cons and humans to use rather than full-size Transformers. Anyway, I guess let's go ahead and get it into the trousers configuration. So let's pull this off. Okay, let's see. So this still needs to be up like that, because that's going to be for combine mode, obviously. Well, I hope that's obvious anyway. Then I think it's like this, because it's sort of like the back flap. Oh, this whole thing is kind of like a back flap for the combine mode. You just pull this down, flip those down, flip the feet out, flip the heels out, flip down, flip the feet out, flip the heel out. There, have the side flaps, and rotate around. Well, first off, I guess rotate this around, and this is going to be the front, or the back, I should say. Around. Let's tilt the camera up just a little bit. Okay, then that tilts in like that, and then pull this down, rotate, flip down, and I guess have this position however you want it to be positioned. I think the per instruction, I think it's supposed to be like this. Pretty sure it's supposed to be like this. I'll have to double check. And that's pretty much it to get the trailer into this configuration. And we just take Optimus. We just kind of, I remember, yeah, the instructions, I actually, when I first combined them, I didn't actually look at the instructions completely because it seemed very straightforward, which it was for the most part, but you slide that in and you just tab these into his shoulder, and then you want to push these in, because that'll just help it get in there, and then press up. This should, there we go. Once these go back in position, and you press on those to release them.
And I will say this, Hasbro might not necessarily be the best at getting like super accurate things unless it's like Masterpiece or super articulated, super amazing stuff. But I will say this, they did outdo the Naval Commander. They did outdo Naval Commander. And then also make sure that this doesn't get caught in there before you try moving it. Because the flaps, even though they do generally stay out of the way, they still kind of have, if they get down too far and you have the legs perfectly straight, it could catch in there. But as you can see, this is all a pretty cohesive look, and I am pretty sure that's screwed up. I'll rectify that real quick. Okay, so if you don't want them to have like a long tail, feather, fin, tails, whatever you want to call it, you just pretty much just scooch this up, and these right here tab into those holes like so. And there we have a back flap that isn't overly large. I mean, it's still pretty large, but it's not excessively large. And he is, I'd say, pretty well proportioned, all things considered. I mean, he does look a little thick around the waist, but I mean, even the original toy, and I think even the animation model still kind of looked a little bit like this. But I do like how they use the back right here to fill in the back rather than making it look, well, I guess not really well filled out, but I think he is a relatively well proportioned robot. And then you can make him hold his gun, which I said for this feels like It's just a little bit small for the big robot, but it's not excessively small. It doesn't do the Jetfire thing where it hides the hole when you open his hand. But hey, it's better than nothing. I mean, at least he can open his hand a little bit. But I will say that might get a little bit annoying where it pops that open. But yeah, I think he's pretty cool. And let's go ahead and get on to articulation.
So his wonderful noggin has a ball joint. You can look up that far. Can't really look down much at all. Head can do a full 360. And he does have a lot of wibbly wobbly, like a lot. One thing I did fail to mention is that you can remove the Autobot emblem to reveal a hole so you can store the gun in robot mode, but I really don't care to put it on his back because I like that Autobot emblem. And then we do a full 360. Go out that far, assuming you don't do anything to help out with that. Bicep rotation or thigh rotation in this case. About 90-degree bend at the elbow, and you do get wrist rotation. Pretty nice. Of course, no waist rotation given everything involved here, which is another thing that the Naval Commander does have that's a little bit better than him, but like I said, everything that holds all this together, though, is a bit sturdier on this side, I would think. And even though he is a bit smaller, he's still, I feel like, it's not funny that his seems a bit sturdier even though he is a bit smaller. Legs can go forward that far. Back, I mean, if you, I guess, undo this and allow this to go fully back, we can go back about that far, but if you only want to, you don't get too far back. Give about 90-degree bend at the knee. Nice stiff thigh rotation, not on ratchets, but friction. And then, of course, ankle tiltage. And then these knee guns, you can also have out if you so desired.
And I guess let's go ahead and bring on Hotshot in. Just see how small he is. Like, he is actually quite small when compared to Optimus in his combined mode. And let's bring in Megatron as well. And there he is. So, yeah, definitely didn't have the same thing in mind as much as with Naval Commander and Meg Tyranno. Because I mean, he still ended up being shorter than him in his combined mode, but I don't know if it was by this much. And I'm pretty sure he's also a bit shorter than him in his robot mode, sort of like with Naval Commander. So I think they're probably about the same in scale with each other as Naval Commander and Meg Tyranno. It's just Meg Tyranno and Naval Commander are quite a bit bigger. But yeah, that's about it for Transformers Legacy Evolution Armada Universe Optimus Prime. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.